We go live if StreamYard will cooperate. So, yeah, a special East Coast time. I was bebopping. I know this is going to sound like I'm complaining, and maybe I am complaining. I was bebopping around, having a great day, till Omer just had to slam me down on the mat with his comments. Well, alarm clock wouldn't have helped, especially with StreamYard not wanting to let me in. I rebooted my computer, and it still didn't want to let me in, but anyway, I'm here and I'm here early, late. I mean, yeah, is time relevant? It's all my time. That's why we're going to have a marathon stream. And that's why, I'm going to come on camera and I'm going to draw. And, I could have been better prepared and waited till 4, you know, uh, and StreamYard might act up and I might have been late. And does it really matter in the long run? I'm here. So, I'm feeling better about things now that we got going. Uh, it's easy to sit back and criticize. It's not just you, Homer. It's the whole thing at work and other stuff like that. But negativity. Oh, just joking. I don't know. I'm letting it get under my skin, and I need to be, like I said, I've had a pretty good day, and I want to continue to have a good day. And I don't have to work tonight, so we're going to try a marathon stream. And like I said, I could have waited till another hour, but I thought, well, Shadowhawk will be in at 4, and you know, at 4 Central. So, maybe I'll get in an hour drawing. Well, best laid plans of mice and men. StreamYard doesn't want to let me in and play nice. Uh, time does matter, and time is very important. And I will bebop along and try and do something here. Um, kind of outlined a small canvas here that I might work on. I might work on these panels. I don't know. I might work on the rounds. I know I need to add some curvy crackle to this last one I did, and there's some others I need to work on, Cortex. And I might even go off camera to do that, um, just so that I can kind of look at the screen and you're not looking at me looking at you, just you know trying to get down what I should already have down so I can continue with some of these more complex pieces. um I don't know even where to begin now. I'm just kind of blown out of the water. um but I do want to get back to doing some sequential pages, and have got a couple new pads of paper to do so. I guess I could start with, since I have it here, seeing them here. Uh, some sketch cards. I cut out about 190 of these, 180, 190, and I haven't used them all yet. Took me only about 6.5 hours to do so, just to cut them out. So, but again, time doesn't really matter that much to me. So I guess I'll just try and sketch in a little bog here. Maybe using for reference the very first drawing of bog. Uh, my new art book will have we'll have 10 years visual history of Bog and in it, and we'll maybe include this, all the artwork that I do and on the campaign. Maybe this will be a one that I put up for sale on the campaign. I have new campaign news as far as that's concerned, but I'm going to wait till a little after 4 Central to talk about that aspect of the campaign. Um, you know, and we'll just do some drawing right now, and chat with the chat. If people want to come in and chat, then they can. If they don't, if they're silenced, then I'll be silent. Janet from another planet, you're wonderfully invited to come on. I'd love to talk with you. Do you use StreamYard? Yes, I do use StreamYard. And Janet, if you want to come in, I will. If you have the opportunity, I'd like to talk to you. I mean, nothing about anything specific, but it might brighten my day. So there's the StreamYard link for you, Janet, in the chat. If it ever, see, it hasn't even hit yet. There we go. It's running slow today, so can't I get on mine? I can't get on mine. Okay. All right. Well, uh, that's okay. Uh, so I hope you're doing well today. You've been on my mind, and I've been meaning to respond to your last DM a little bit thorough, you know, with the discussion of what we were talking about, what you brought up. It's pretty pitiful that we can't act like humans, toward each other, and downright get nasty about it. If you're on the internet, you have to have a thick skin, that's for sure. But I don't know. Live and let live, do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. I mean, is that rocket science? Is that hard for anybody to understand? I don't understand why people can't live by that. I guess they never learned it, what it really means to treat each other like decent human beings. I mean, look at all the LA riots and everything that's out there. And I understand there's a vested interest, but these groups are well funded. I'm RV in the house. Greetings, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I'm finishing dinner and getting ready for bed. Take care. Yeah, that's one reason why we want to go early. Sometimes I can't believe we got as many watchers as we do now. 13. That's wild. That didn't take very long. Thank you, everyone. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I will be drawing, and I will be making an announcement later about the campaign, and something I think you're going to be happy about, and much needed night off, away from work. I didn't know if I was going to have tonight off due to rain. I may have tomorrow night off too. And a 4-day weekend, hey, I'll take it. I'm really not that worried about finances. I mean, this has been a strange year, uh, for my job, just the weather, and the bugs are now just starting to get bad. I'm sure out in heavily wooded areas, they're really bad. Um, but I haven't seen it. I've seen a handful of mosquitoes, not even a handful, you know. Uh, Last night I went to Paragould. I bet Janet knows where that is, outside of Jonesboro, about 45 minutes. People say I can make it in 30 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever. And it's like, yeah, if you speed all the way, and in fact, they've decreased some of the speed in some of the spots. So good luck with that. It takes me a good 30 minutes to get to Paragould, and that's up north where you leave at, For one, I got to go down Johnson, and it's 35 miles an hour all the way down. That's slow, but I'm used to going slow, when my top speed in my truck's 14 miles an hour. So maybe today I'll be working on some old pieces, getting them complete, maybe some new pieces like these sketch cards and, that stuff that I can put up my own artwork on the campaign. I did think up a new front page for, to add to the Devil Flyer story, sort of like a, just a little future ongoing theme, you know. So, uh, I'm back. Rewind. Well, I busted you out for your negative comments earlier, Omer. You didn't miss much. I was feeling good till I read your comments, and then I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm going earlier than I usually go, and I get busted for it because my StreamYard won't work, and I reboot the computer, and it still doesn't want to let me in. So there's not much I could do about it, buddy. I'm kind of a slave to the devices that I'm using, unfortunately. But I try my best, and I was, having a pretty good day. And I'm having a good day. I'm talking my way through it. It's always good to be on here and be uplifting and that's what I want the channel to be about. So if you son of a bitches or whatever, and if you take offense to that, you can leave now. You can click off. But I want this channel to be all about positivity. And I may be the cog in the wheel that's messing up everything with my comments daily, with my own negativity. But at least I can own that and maybe improve on that, But if you want to be negative, yeah, find some other channel, because I think YouTube channels should be a refuge in the time of storm. We're very fortunate that really the trending, maybe it's pandemic, that people are kind of turning away from broadcast television or television in general, and they're going to online for what they watch. So I think we should all be grateful for that if we have a channel and we're actually putting up content. And it took me like 4 months and really a dare to start putting content up on this channel. And I subscribed to Peter Gilmore's YouTube today. I subscribed to can't remember the guy's name. Toad. It was a Peter Gilmore comment on X that led me to both his, which I didn't know that I wasn't subscribed to him. The other guy had up like 2K videos as well, but he's a little bit, 400 and, if I remember right, 50 something subscribers. So he's not near what this channel is. No, he's not monetized yet. Of course, I've got to get them some tax information and stuff. And I know if it's Omer Glitch, he'd already had it done. But I work on my time. I make time work for me and no one else. So if I don't please everybody with my timing, it's like I want to tell my secretary at work, I want to take my shoes off and lay them at her feet and say, here, try these out. Because nobody walks in your shoes but you. And really, you're only accountable to the law and God and country, by yourself. Anyway, I'm rewatching Laugh Out Loud. Sorry, bud. I know you got work started back up. I won't tease anymore. Sorry, bud. I have the utmost respect for you. And I know you do. I know you do. I wasn't even going to be on the Hump Day show last night, and yet he put me first. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I know it, Omer. You're fast becoming one of my best friends. I love you, brother. iron sharpens iron, So you work on you and I'll work on me and we'll be friends for a good long time, I'm sure. Um, we'll rub the rough edges off each other. That's what water does to stone. Um, I We've had at least 13 viewers up here. Now we're down to 4. This thing is going up and down, up and down. I don't know why the counter, but if you're out there, you're listening to the broadcast. I know Marv's going to bed, and I understand that because he's in a different time zone altogether. And yeah, every now and then I like to do it, especially like today. I know I don't have to go in tonight and work, so I'll probably do a marathon stream, bring some other people's in now. I just kind of want to connect with the chat and do my own thing, and then we'll see where it leads. Like I said, I play by my own rules, or try to. That's why I opt out of a lot of what society's going on, what's going on in society. I try and stay informed as much, and in some regards, politically, maybe even more informed than a lot of people. But, you know, again, I'm just, had to account for myself in the end. Gable Penny Shot in the house. Howdy to you, sir. It's good to see you. I'm drawing a bog. This is the first bog I've drawn in a while. In fact, I'd probably have to look at some of these rounds to see when the last one, was that I actually drew. I don't know why, on this original design, I'm seeing under his eyes. In later designs, and let me see, let me take this down where I can't see you. Yeah, okay. So this one was in April, I think April 8th or 18. I can't see because that little toolbar is there in the way. It's on my desktop here. In 2015, the year that I did him. This is probably about the third drawing of him that I did. Maybe, if memory serves me right, I may be wrong about that. Um, that's why it'll be nice to organize it all in a art book on the Art of Devil Flyer. 10-year visual history of Bog. Um, you know, Gable's a major force for me on, making that section of the book, something special, because I know he likes Bog. But I'm looking at that on my desktop. I'm looking at the original drawing of Bog, and somehow I started under the eyes drawing a little, sort of like a little divider here, which is not in the original design here. Um, Maybe I felt like I needed that. I don't know. I've gravitated and I've drawn different iterations of Bog for 10 years, over 10 years now. And he was the main character that I originally thought, if I was going to do it all myself, that I would come out with. As it turned out, he was I would say one of the last major, if you take Bystander out of there, the big 4 anyway, which kind of represents, I see, or could represent the 4 elements, which, it's just kind of like a happy coincidence, or maybe it's by divine design. I don't know. It's above my pay grade, but I can blather on by myself for a good long time. But if I do, my voice will probably give out. There is a little something in it, and it's probably just from sleep, and snoring. That's a good thing about it. Nobody calls you hog in the hog pen if for snoring. That if there's no one in the house. I know Amber. I mean, not Amber. Amber's on my mind. Amber's my daughter. Um, um, her birthday's tomorrow, by the way, Friday the 13th. Yeah. Abby, she doesn't complain about my snoring. So I'm the leader of the unofficial Bog fan club. Our only rule is no omers allowed. Okay. Well, he has drawn Bog before. Um, and his Bog sticker will be in the sticker book. Um, right now he's working, or will be working here pretty soon, on showing you what an interior page of that will look like, which is kind of based on 8 stickers per page, with the mid section column kind of like the Marvel Value Stamp book. I know it could look more like the Marvel Value Stamp book than what it does, than, what Omer kind of put together, but it's okay. It looks fine to me. The way we have it now, the front and back cover. Um, so anyway, I get to drawing here, and maybe I'll just draw it the way I eventually had it, which, I could probably go right into ink here because these are just like straight lines. Bog is not too complex a character to draw. I mean, usually I work like this. I just got like a stiff backing board, and, could get the table thing out. Just start with what I have here and go straight into inks here. Inking his face. Like I say, I may put some of this new work that I'm doing today up on the campaign. I will have some more campaign news later on, like I said, and I'm going to hopefully give you more for your money. I'm excited that we're, getting pretty close to. Hey, Doc. Doc, you want to come in? I'll give you the link in the chat. I've been wanting to talk to you. Yeah, I mean, it's 4 o'clock somewhere, right? That's the way I look at it. Maybe Australia, maybe Shangri-La, but it's 4 o'clock somewhere. What I know, what I care. I don't have I don't want an alarm clock. If I wanted something, I just have my boss come over and knock down the front door, pound on it for me. I don't want to live my life like that. If I'm late, now when things really count, yeah, East Coast, 4 o'clock, right? Yeah, and if it hadn't have been for StreamYard, I would have been maybe 3-4 minutes late, but I would have been here. But as it was, yeah, it was late already because StreamYard didn't want to play nice. I rebooted the computer, which it probably needed anyway, and I'm here. So I'm here. I was beginning to doubt if it would ever let me in. Okay, Sarah. Whatever will be, will be. Murphy's Law. Anything that bad that can happen will happen. But, I'm more of an optimist. I don't try and live by Murphy's Law, but it does seem like that to some people, that type of stuff happens. Yeah, after a time, I had to draw some bog, and it's been a while. So we'll just do us up a little bog here, a little bog artwork. Because it's been a while. See, even now, under the eyes, I want to put that little flap or whatever. Just I don't know. I if I had a drawing of it, I would, and I may around here, I'd show you. But he didn't originally have that, and I don't do it always. Here is the actual artwork and if you back the ash can, you got these. There in the original artwork, you don't really see, you see like a cheekbone there, but you don't see. I guess that's more like a flap. In the original design, and I, like I say, I draw him differently, and I hope my camera is working okay. You almost got me. Early start. Okay, give me a minute. All right. I think I sent you the link, Shadow. If I didn't, then I will in the chat. So he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe that little bit under the eye sort of suggested to me a little eye flap. I do have some pants on that I'm not. I may break out the white out. Doc never did tell me if he's available to come on. You know what you did, Omer? Yeah, he knows what he did. Rex forgive us, but never forgets. Rex forgives, but never forgets. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I do believe that a person should forgive, if nothing else, to clear his conscience. That's the main thing I wanted to say to the secretary is when it comes to my job, I have a clear conscience. I've never tried to game the time cards and go back and see the odd times that I give. I don't round up. I don't round to my benefit or anything like that. I feel like that's dishonest. Try and be as honest as you can be. Um, yeah, if Homer Glitch wasn't a bad boy, then he wouldn't be Homer Glitch, now would he? So I guess no link for Homer. Laugh out loud, right? Uh, let's get Shadowhawk in here and see how this thing progresses. I don't know. I mean, Gable said he didn't want to see you, so I don't know. I guess I need to be mad, be good to Homer, or he'll stop coming around like Timothy Austin. You out there, Timothy? Knock on wood and make a comment in the chat if you did. I don't know if I sent you the link or not, Shadowhawk. You don't have a link. Okay. Okay. So here's the link. And Homer, if you want to come in on that one, you can. Of course, I had to put earbuds in. Rat. Darn it. If I want to be able to hear the rest, and maybe I don't, but then I'll probably be stepping over and talking over you. So I guess I better put them in. All right. Where's my inking implement here to figure this thing out? Let's go with Gable Penny Shot. Okay. The link is there in the chat. Shadowhawk, that's closest. And Doc, if you're listening, you're available. You can come in on the link. Homer, whoever, Gable Penny Shot, whoever. I don't care. Just doing my thing. Having fun. Till my daddy takes the T-Bird away. No worries. I have to do some stuff, but I'll be watching maybe later if you're marathoning. Yes, I am. Welcome to the show, Doc Blaylock.
Yeah, listen, put your thing away while I'm here.
Oh, what I'm drawing?
No, you said you'll be doing your thing. I'm not really comfortable with that, Rex. Okay. How are you?
It's packed.
Hello, away. Chat.
How are you doing, brother?
I'm all right. I just got done cutting the grass. I'm all sweaty.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's hot out there right now.
Welcome to the show, my co-host, Shadowhawk.
Hey, howdy.
What's up, Shadowhawk?
What's going on, Doc? Good to see you, buddy.
Man, Shadow, you got home early today. I mean, you made good time from work, unless you didn't go to work.
No, that worked. It was traffic wasn't, it was not terrible today. So
you mean to tell me that these peace-loving, inclusive people weren't blocking your ride home?
Let them try. I'll be the last guy you want to put your ass in front of, because I will run you over.
I know. Have you heard him? I mean, he's actually been on the show, I think, or he was describing it. Maybe I think you were describing it, Shadowhawk, and you were like, or maybe I was on the phone with you. That was it. We were.
Yeah, I think we were on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we were broadcasting. It's like, oh, you buy it up. It's just.
Oh shit, man! I'm sitting in my car talking to Rex, and this fucking lady comes out. First of all, she looks like she'd be about 65 or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walks up to this brand new Camaro parked next to the driver's side of my car. Apparently, she never even saw me in there. She opens up the fucking door of that Camaro and just slams it right into the fucking side of my car, and then proceeds to get in her car and sit down. By the time she was getting ready to sit down, dude, my window was down, my door was open. I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, old lady?" God, I was pissed. And
The entitlement, you know.
fucking, she just like,
Yes.
well, well, look at my car and look at yours. I'm like, yeah, you should be more careful with your shit. You don't deserve it. When I
Look
got
at my
back in the
car. Look
car,
at yours. I'd have been, whoa, Karen, I will slap them dentures right out your wrinkled
Yeah,
ass
my
See,
face.
car-
how is that an
there ain't
argument?
nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with my car. It's a sedan. It's not a fucking, Camaro. Big fucking deal.
Was she trying to say that your car looks trashy compared to hers?
Yes,
I
that's what
guess,
she was
yeah.
trying.
That was the implication. But
That was the inference. Okay.
there's nothing wrong with my car. It's perfectly fine. I got a couple
No,
little
it's
dents
not.
and
It's got a
dings.
dent in it now, thanks to that old lady.
Well, yeah, and I do.
You know, that's sad when somebody that old does not take responsibility for their actions any better than that.
I felt like I was talking to a 4-year-old. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I
And
had
I
some.
Go,
I had.
go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You weren't done. Go ahead.
Oh, but anyway, I had totally forgotten at that point. By the time I got back in my car, that I was on the phone with Rex. Rex, I hear him come through the speaker of my phone. Everything okay? I go, oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah. It's like, whoops, I thought I was muted.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, go ahead, Doc.
I was just gonna. I had some rando jump over to one of my threads on Facebook,
Mhm.
thinking that he was going to engage me in debate and start with an ad hominem attack. And so I quote Riddick from Pitch Black: "Did not know who he was fucking with." I eviscerated his ass. Always good.
Awesome.
Always good when you can trash a libtard.
Yeah, I've been seeing a few of your tweets lately, Doc. I had a feeling you were going at it with somebody.
Yep. Yeah, this rando came out of nowhere. You believe everything you see on the news. The riots aren't everywhere in LA. So I started politely. I said, kindly show me anywhere where I said it was all of LA. I'll wait.
Right.
You won't find it because that's not what I said. Fucktard, pay attention. And he tried. I'm a lawyer and I went to school for this, that, and the other thing. And I said, then apparently you skipped debate class where the argument from authority is a logic fallacy and invalidates your argument. What? Oh, he's a fucktard. It was entertaining.
Hey, get you going a little bit, get your heart rate up. It's good for you. I know it's awesome. I'll show the boys in a minute. Got my new area rug for the old Shadow's Nest.
That's just a couch. I haven't pointed the same way.
Oh, cool. There. You don't have to blow it up or anything, Rex. I'll just give you a quick whoop.
I'm
Wrong.
sorry.
Wrong
See,
camera.
I'm
I put the plastic back on.
God dang it.
Hey, Caleb Reynolds in the house.
Do. Whatever. I guess I'll show it to you at another time.
Did you want to show it? Or
I can't. I have to go back, jump out, and come back in.
that's
What
that's
happened?
a hard no.
Can't
Okay.
get my camera to switch back around.
I was just responding. I wasn't on, where I could see it. I was responding, leaving my daughter a message because it's her birthday tomorrow.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Rex's
Happy
daughter.
birthday.
I had said happy early birthday, dear, the day my whole life and world changed. She left a little heart and said thank you. And I said, you're welcome. Have an awesome one. Love you. That's what I'm just saying, right?
And hail to the chat, everybody.
We haven't talked much. In fact, it was Mother's Day since the last time I've actually contacted and talked with her. So,
Oh,
I reminded Anna that tomorrow is Amber's birthday, my sister, and she says, "I know what you did 9 months ago." Laugh out loud. I'm going to make her clarify that because it sure wasn't, any hanky panky going on.
Well, Rex, That's where little children come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned that
It
once.
had- Rex had to have done it at least once.
And
Like
you
I
know,
said,
there's
it,
proof.
yeah.
Proof Rex is not a virgin.
Well,
So
I'm
stop
glad
calling him one, Omer.
That's right. And apparently he's a sniper too.
Ooh.
Only took one shot.
Yeah, but it
Look.
was a good one.
That's
Look, he's desperately shopping for something to get off of this.
No,
I
I'm
know.
not. No, I'm not. I was highlighting the chat. You say never.
No, I'm just messing with you, Rex. Don't get sideways.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Where's Homer at? I thought he was going to pop in.
Maybe in a little bit, he says.
He
Oh.
says, got some stuff to do, but I'll be watching maybe later if you're marathoning. So he means much later.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Rex, leave your chair empty and go away live and come back and he'll pop in.
Don't
There you
threaten
go.
me with a good time.
That's what I'm saying. I wish I got those kind of numbers, Rex. Your chair stream is your chair stream your biggest stream ever?
No, hell no. Hey, at one point this channel was bringing down like 200 and something views, quite regularly,
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
I mean,
But I think
I've
the empty
said-
chair kind of drew quite the
Yeah,
crowd.
Yeah, you got a pretty
it did,
good
but
response.
you can't do that prank too many times. People catch on after about the third hour.
Yeah.
Homer Glitch says, Rex, check your DMs from him. Good
Okay.
stuff. Now, I don't know if he means he locked Mr. Good Stuff in your DMs, or Mrs. Good Stuff. That could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they were over there in chat the other day.
Yeah,
Well,
did they
you're
get
in a
done?
happy mood. What have you
Did they
been up
get-
to, Doc?
I was cutting grass. I love cutting grass.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Cutting grass, not glass. I was
I
cutting
wasn't
glass.
cutting. I wasn't cutting glass.
glass
I have
cutting.
cut glass before.
Yeah.
It can be a little finicky sometimes when you're cutting glass.
You see, there is zero room for mistakes.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't F up, not even once.
Nope. You got to start again, brand new piece.
Yeah, I was
Thank
actually
you, Homer.
working at a framing store, picture framing,
Uh-huh.
and I was cutting a piece of glass one day, and it was a big one, like a 30x40.
Oh,
Then it was the expensive non-glare glass, and I'm cutting it, and I get to the bottom, and it goes dink, and goes all the way across. Oh, sweet Lord, have mercy! My eye just twitched for a minute.
Mhm. And you know that sound, that horrible sound.
Yeah, dink.
Oh, dude, you want to hear a horror story? I just changing out my wiper blades like a month ago, maybe.
I
2 weeks ago.
heard.
Oh, dude, I was so
I'm
pissed.
so
As soon as-
sorry. I'm so
As soon as
sorry.
the thing slipped out of my hand, I was like, ah! And then they hit, and that little ting that you're just talking about. Exactly what I heard. Like,
Yeah.
killing me.
All you can do when that happens is stand there and let your blood pressure rise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, I was kicking myself in the ass. Oh, why couldn't you caught that? Why didn't it have to slip?
Oh my gosh.
What do you think, Doc? Pretty good job by Homer Glitch on the clown killer.
It gets a nod of approval.
Do you like my color choices for his costume, hair, and everything?
Not for the buttons on his blouse, no.
Yeah, I think they should be contrasting from the shirt.
They should be white. And let's see, I think
or,
I had
or
his,
blue with
his
matches.
pants. His pants were blue and white striped, I think.
Well, I was going by my original design that I sent you originally.
You asked what I thought of the colors. I was just telling you.
Right. Yeah, I think I had something else going on with the pom poms, but it's
Okay.
He
asked for a critique. We're here for you, buddy.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'll never do that again. Okay.
I'll tell you this:
That,
drawing the ruff, the lace ruff collar.
Mhm.
That's for the birds. I hate doing that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, time-consuming detail stuff.
Yep. Irritating sons of bitches. It's like playing cards with my sister's kids.
have you been
Well,
It's like
getting
Rex.
much?
the chickens that were luckier than that.
Yes, Doc.
I was just going to say I saw your text just now where you were asking if I was okay. I'm okay. Did you need something?
No, I just was kind of missing you, Doc, and
Oh,
I think I sent that yesterday. Uh,
yeah, but my phone makes no sounds whatsoever,
I
so
know.
I never
I
know.
thought I'd give you a call, but I gave you a text instead.
Every now and then, if I'm holding my phone, like playing my little word game that I play,
Mhm.
someone will call and I'll actually see that I'm getting a call and I'll answer. But otherwise, wah, 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 nope, sorry.
So what, Doc? Since I got you on here, and it all means, all the chatter um, is about L.A. Uh, I don't think don't think that the left is
No,
really
you did
winning
right
on
on.
this issue like they did, perhaps a little bit, making ground with some people with the Portland stuff, back in the past. I
I
don't
think
think a
that,
lot of people are swallowing the same pill this time.
yeah, the left didn't get the memo. That shit's over.
Yeah.
We ain't,
Nobody's putting
we
up. We ain't putting up with this shit no more.
no, we're not having it no mo. You want your ass beat? Fuck around and find out.
Uh-huh. Oh, dude, I can pull up videos all day long and just sit there and laugh at people that just look what happened to these riders when they people are just walking up and dragging them across the pavement and popping them in the head.
But it's not just at the tactical level on the face to face. It's all up and down through politics and culture. Everybody's tired of it.
Oh
Nobody
yeah,
wants it anymore. The current left is like people have been pointing out. They're on the wrong end of every 80-20 issue
hmm
Yeah.
that Americans care about.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I don't know. I mean, are they intentionally choosing to live with rose-colored glasses on and think that their shit actually does anything?
Well,
Because
I can, if you'd asked me this yesterday morning, I'd have given you a different answer. But now, after the conversation I found myself in yesterday, in which let me illustrate this for you. A leftoid woman who lives in LA said to me, "Don't believe the video that you're seeing. You should listen to Jimmy Kimmel."
yeah.
She then she then turned around and cited as a source Chat GPT.
Oh God, she's brilliant.
Yeah, and then somebody from the UK is concerned about the tyranny of the US while they're kicking down doors and locking people up for memes in the UK. And I pointed this out to both of them. I'm sorry. I can't take you seriously. You're not a serious person. And then I
Yeah,
went, holy shit, that explains why they vote the way that they do. They actually listen to Jimmy Kimmel. They
Yeah.
actually
yeah.
listen to Echo Chambers and Chat
The
GPT.
View
Where's
is a
my?
good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Now, granted, there's not a lot of them that are like that, but
Yeah.
I am thoroughly convinced based on my interactions over the last several days and observations over the last, I don't know, few decades that liberalism is a mental illness.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
And
traditional left liberalism. I mean modern liberalism is a
right.
mental illness.
What we would
Yeah.
have called traditional, Democrat conservatism, sort of like Kennedy Democrats of
Oh
old,
yeah,
or yellow dog Democrats.
Kennedy would be
Right.
all right today.
Yeah.
And the dude got offended that I called him a leftist. He goes, "Well,
And I have no doubt that a
okay,
lot of liberals have out, you know, a lot of younger people, they want to save the world. I was one of those, Doc, and I wanted to, you know, do charitable things and things like that. But, you know, when you're stepping on other people's rights and you're, you know, it's just gotten out of hand. And I think the leadership has been radicalized, and I just don't know how you pull back from that, you know. Um,
Well, we've made a first step. We've made a
right, yeah,
first step.
right. But they only need one election to
Well,
take, to, you know, to really seize power
that
and then
that
just
that
really
is
drive
true.
it into the ground,
That is
you know.
true. So my plan is this: I want every conservative I know to run for district judge, because apparently that gives you more power than the executive branch of the federal
It
government.
shouldn't. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
weakest branch, or was meant to be the weakest of the three
But
branches.
it
Yeah.
does. So let's all run for everybody go run for district judge in whatever
Nah.
district you live in, and
Yeah.
then
You
you
might
can get
get
in
it.
there. You can get in there and you can dictate federal policy.
Yeah.
Woo.
Apparently. I mean,
I'm mad
you,
at power.
you
The
know, I don't
power.
have to tell you this, the president is well and within his rights. Of course, one thing, one argument I've heard is that it's a generational thing. You know, you got 3, 4 generations that's been here for the last 50, 60 years. I mean, LA's been a haven for, you know, a big percentage of them, maybe around 50% today, are illegal aliens that live within the region. And so you have people's uncles and all
Yeah,
that, and it's all tied up. Yeah, I get that. But so that just means we're 50 years or 60 years in my mind. We need to clear that out. Well,
yeah.
it's
We went.
way overdue, you
We
know,
there's
and you
a
can
couple of
apply, you can put all those things in your favor. Look, I've been running a business. If it disrupts your life, sad, you know. I mean, eventually the law catches up with you. Hopefully, you know, come in legally.
the there's a couple of principles at work here.
Y'all come back now.
One of them is best summarized by Guns N' Roses lyrics of all things. I used to do a little wouldn't do it, so the little got more and more.
Well,
We on
yeah.
the right, we're fine with live and let live. Okay, boo boo, you do you. But
Yeah.
the left wasn't okay with that. They got that little bit of
No.
acceptance, and then they wanted more and more and more
Mhm.
and more and more. And we kept giving in and giving in and giving in. And to quote Picard, this far and no further. A line has been drawn, and you crossed it. And the pendulum is swinging back the other way. And I'm sorry, boo boo, if you get hit by the pendulum when it swings back. But your
Yeah.
feelings just don't matter.
But we were so close to ultimate power, you know, of seizing it all and keeping it all.
God, think about what a bullet we dodged. When,
I
by the way,
know.
let me be perfectly clear about something here, okay?
Mhm.
Sometimes when Trump opens his mouth and a bucket of dumb falls out, I just want to go, oh my God, what the fuck did he just say? But then I think, but the alternative was Kamala and Waltz. Oh, for fuck's sake, boy, did we dodge a bullet.
See, I never do that. I know what Trump, and I don't criticize what he says. And sometimes, yeah, I might even be stupid. We're not all perfect. But
Correct.
when I hear Democrats of past, I've just run that little tape in my mind like, well, my question to you is if we get too many troops on the island, that it'll tip
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was an awesome
you know,
line,
and
too.
he's just one. I mean, these people are mentally ill. They are off their bean. You should be impeached for saying something like that. Some dumbass, or you better have a good, but they
Oh,
never,
yeah.
you know, they never get rid of
Uh-oh.
these limp tards. You know, they
Well,
just keep
I've always
electing.
believed
Oh, there's
I've,
that.
al-
Okay.
I've always believed that stupid should be a crime.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I've told my sister because she's dealing with some stuff. I've told her I do not countenance fools very long. I do not do stupid. I don't want it around me, because that's when the excrement hits the fan most of the time.
Yeah,
Hey, Carrie.
I should say
yeah.
it's dumb on purpose that I have no use for.
Yeah.
Anybody can be
That's what
ignorant.
really, yeah.
Anybody can be wrong in their beliefs, and that's fine. You're free to believe whatever you want to.
Right.
But when you are confronted with the fact that gravity works whether you want it to or not, and you still insist on jumping off the roof,
Yeah,
then that's
hey,
on you, boo boo.
and oi, Carrie, good to see ya.
Hello, Carrie.
Yeah, and a lot of people just they continue with their actions even when they know it doesn't work. Maybe this time, maybe
Well,
this,
yeah, and
maybe not this time.
That's the
So,
old
man,
chestnut, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and not understanding why you fail every time.
yeah.
mhm,
But at
mhm.
the same time, the counter to that is that's also the same definition as persistence.
Exactly. So, I mean, and
That one's
sometimes,
kind of a catch-22.
right, because sometimes being persistent pays off. You
Yeah,
know,
I would
other
just
times
say
it
I
don't.
would just say that if you continually slam your head against the wall,
Yeah.
eventually you got to get tired of the squishy sound.
Eventually, you'll feel it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
wall is
just,
not going to give in.
it just amazes me. Like the
But
level
are
of
we
There's
making any
stupidity.
headway, Doc? Do you think with like
yes,
maybe
yes,
Kennedy with the food sort of? I mean, and if we are, it doesn't look like they're. What was Doge all about? If we're not going to do anything about it, if we're just going to point to it, and really they have no arguments about that because they set up about all that stuff that is waste and fraud
yeah.
and that
There's yeah,
allocating money to the
yeah.
friends.
Do not mistake me. There are a lot of rhinos out there, and there are a lot of
Hmm.
pseudo conservatives. I don't think it's going to be until we get true fiscal constitutional conservatives in Congress that we're going to see anything. And I think my prediction is that will take place under the Vance presidency because he will be the next president at this rate.
Hmm. And why? Why do you think he'll be, in that
Because
position?
well, first of all, I know he'll run. I know he'll be the nominee,
Yeah.
and I've seen the competition.
Right.
None of them, none of them would stand a chance in a debate with that guy.
Right.
Well, here's my dream world, Doc.
They're going to
We get
try. That's
we
for
get
sure.
we get Trump until what 26 or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Then we get Vance in a landslide because the Democrats are playing with an empty fucking bench right now, boy. They got
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
And then we get Don
28
Jr.
was the year you were
come
looking for.
in after 8 years of Vance. You get Don Jr. run.
Yeah, Don Jr. And I'm not opposed to Ron DeSantis. I don't care about his beef with Trump during the
Yeah, I mean
election.
those two have never really gotten along that great,
Yeah,
but
yeah, and I don't.
he still runs his state really well. I
Yes, he
mean,
does. Yes, he does. And you would be hard pressed to find a more effective conservative than him. So I really don't care after Vance because I'll probably be dead to be honest with you.
yeah, I probably ain't gonna see it either. So
Yeah, but if we can get some true conservative Congress along with a true conservative like Vance, then we will have gone a long way towards straightening shit out.
yeah. Well, I mean, I really hope Trump goes through with this. What is it? A Board of Education or what do they call it? The
Yeah, the
Department
Department of
of
Education.
yeah.
Yeah, get
Fucking
rid of
get
it.
rid of that
Get rid
shit.
of it. Get rid of
All
it.
they've done is shovel shit into our
Yeah, but
children's
I
heads
mean, can
for
he do it?
40
Can
years.
he?
Yes,
Can he?
Yes, he could
yes.
fucking do it.
Can he
Right
get a
now he can.
majority?
He's got to
Yeah.
get it done before the midterms, though, because
Well,
if
they
we
haven't.
lose a couple of seats in the
Yeah,
midterms, we're
it
fucked.
it
Then
it
he's going
will.
to be a lame duck.
Yeah, there's a process called rescission that Congress can do, where they can say, all right, fine, you can have a Department of Education, but its funding is zero.
Oh,
Zero.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Zero.
Yeah. There you
None.
go. Have they talked about
You
that?
guys fund yourself.
Yes.
You get
Yes.
together with PBS and all your because they need to go too. All the money that goes
Yes.
to them, that needs to
Oh,
go.
they've already done that, I
Okay,
believe.
Yeah.
good.
Federal
I'm
health.
glad. Yeah, I think
The
that before Elon left, he took care of that one.
I think
Really?
there's no place for federal government involvement in broadcasting, in the arts, in
Yeah.
No.
in education. You know, education year over year since its inception. Literacy rates and graduation rates have gone down while funding has gone up every single year. That is the very definition of failure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But
they've gotten a lot of federal funding,
Yeah,
and they wasted it all. And I
done
mean,
nothing.
look at the state of our schools now. I mean,
Yeah, kid,
I'm
Johnny
lucky
can't read.
yeah. I mean, where I'm at, where I live, I'm lucky. My daughter's got a really nice, good high school to go to.
Yeah,
But if we were 5 miles south of where I'm at now, she would have to
there's
go
a
to my old hometown high school where I
oh.
graduated, and I won't even walk the halls in that place now.
I hear you. Yeah, there's a clip on YouTube from years ago. I'm talking about the '80s. Jerry Clower did a little bit, this a true story about why Johnny can't read. I
Mhm.
encourage everybody to go listen to it.
yeah, I mean, you know, really, it may have been a good thing at one time, but that is long past. And
No, it was never a good thing.
well, maybe it wasn't, but you know, I know I participated and I used to donate to them during their telethons.
Oh, you talk about
And
PBS?
I cut that time out sometime in the early 90s
Well, yeah.
because
Yeah, we
uh,
were talking.
I was seeing how liberal they were with their views.
Yeah,
And I just cut that out. And Sesame Street and other properties like that, they've got toys, all kind of the licensed products. They
correct,
don't need the 50
correct,
million a year or
Exactly.
whatever it is. You know,
correct. They don't need federal money
they don't
because
need
The
federal money.
Doctor Who. I mean, that's I don't think they're on PBS anymore though, but they were for a long time.
Yeah,
just there's the government's got no place in it.
No.
The Constitution's 10th Amendment was very clear that the things that they didn't cover were left to the states, not the federal government. To keep expanding the federal government endlessly is just stupid.
Right. Yeah, the individual states are supposed to
well,
have
Gavin
more power
Newsom would like
over
to,
themselves.
say, well, that's all I'm trying to do, and federal doesn't have any, and the president is
Not when you're
is
committing
it,
federal
it
crimes.
well,
It-
let me finish
sorry.
with what I was going to say,
All
which
right.
wasn't much, but it was something. Um, that the president is well within his rights. I mean, Eisenhower did similar. George Bush did similar. With the illegals, and it is federal. That's what brings it in. ICE is federal,
Yeah,
and if they're
exactly.
going to endanger federal property, and 24 businesses or more have been burned down now, and I
Yeah,
I
and I don't
applaud
care
at
if
least
you're the
what.
mayor of one of these cities or what. If you choose to ignore federal law and you assist these people in being not deported, then you should be picked up and taken away.
Yeah, like I said, they just haven't gotten the memo yet.
Do you think I'm taking it from what you're saying is that attitudes have changed in this country
Yes. Yeah.
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 about the violence and the trying to
Yeah.
turn it on a dime. It's obvious that the Democrats aren't listening to the American people.
Yeah. Joe Sixpack has stood up on his back legs and roared. He's tired of it.
Yeah, but there was Joe the plumber, and that didn't really go anywhere, did it?
Well, no, that's
With
because
Obama?
because the Golden Boy, their Lord and Savior Obama, was
Yeah,
running,
he
and
could do no wrong.
if you opposed him, you were a racist. You see, they could play that card. But I handed this guy his racist card back because it was overdrawn. Sorry, you can't play that card anymore. It's
Do
over.
you think Michelle will run ever, or Michael?
Big Mike.
Big Mike might run. I don't see it in this next cycle. because Obama's not stupid. He can read the tea leaves. He knows where the mood of America is right now. So he would be
Right.
telling the moose, not right now.
Not right now, because I mean, maybe after 4 years of Vance, you're saying?
She might try then. Yeah.
Hey, Rick, Cross Comics in the house.
What's up, Rick?
I mean, and unless he, she, or it, whatever it is a really good actress. I mean, I've seen her multiple times. You know, talking about even just being first lady. As you know, she didn't like it. She was glad it's over. So
Well, they're
I don't know.
multimillionaires, so why not enjoy life on our dime,
Yeah,
right?
well,
I mean, they've already
exactly.
accomplished
I mean, unless
wealth,
you know you just crave power. You know, I
power,
mean,
right?
you got to be in that driver's seat, right? I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
and there's
never,
a lot
never.
of
I
people like
guess
that.
had that. Hey, Rick, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, look at Nancy
Oh,
Pelosi, and I
blame
think
Canada.
Gavin
Speaking of
Newsom, her
Canadians,
nephew, has
Canadian.
craves the same thing. You know, craves a giant seat at a bigger seat at the table.
I guess.
And yet
I
he's a
just
horrid
want to be able to have
governor
what
that he
enough
was
to
a
make me
horrid
an
governor, and
independent
he is a
happy.
horrid governor. Uh, that he if the tables weren't stacked, the
Not
cards
gonna
weren't
listen to you
stacked in
whine.
his favor in California, he would have gotten ousted, you know, and had a been removed from office last year. It's unfortunately, you know, that the guy running against him couldn't you know beat the odds. Doc, did you disappear?
Nope. Right here.
Maybe come back. Nothing to talk about on that account.
Oh,
Because
I'm
they were
sorry.
wanting to get rid of Newsom. The people.
Yeah,
Newsom,
he's Pelosi's
Newsom,
nephew or whatever. He's locked in over there, man.
in the last 3 days, Newsom has destroyed his chances at being the president. He opened his
Oh, he
pie
knows.
hole. He opened
Yeah.
his word. He opened his word hole, and the dumb fell out.
Yep. I
And
did enjoy him trying to act like a tough guy the other day though.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, I had a stitch in my side from laughing.
that may be true, but do you want to say exactly, you know, I mean, clarify that for some people, you know, about how, you know, what he said that was so asinine stupid. How did he how do you feel
He
like
said the
he
riots didn't start until Trump called in the National Guard, when that was patently untrue, and
Yeah.
everybody
Exactly.
knew it except for the lady that told me to consult Jimmy Kimmel. She didn't know that.
right? Well, she's
uh,
not watching the news, the real news, you know.
and then his statement that he was going to withhold California's taxes to the federal government, you know, basically trying to declare war. An economist did the math, and California's contribution to our GDP every year is 1.5%. 1.5. The federal government's investment in California is 56% of their economy. You want to play that game, Gavin? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I mean, you got people in open revolt, you know.
Yeah, I was really hoping Trump was going to
Hey,
just go
Marcus,
ahead
what's
and
up?
send some federal agents by to wake him up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, like they did to our guys. That would really be cool.
Marcus says they voted for him. California wants and likes Newsom. It is true that a great many people in their cities
Hey, Marcus.
approve of him for some strange reason. But
Yeah, I don't know why.
at the
He's been
same
good.
time, a lot of people follow Jim Jones down to Africa too. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah. That was Guyana, right? Was Guyana Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I only saw it somewhere in South America for some reason.
Well, hell, now I don't know. Am I wrong?
Guyana? I'm not sure, dude.
Somebody
Anybody
asked.
know which
Somebody
continent Guyana lies?
Somebody asked Google where Jonestown was.
There you go.
No, I think you're right, Shadowhawk. It was in Guyana.
Yeah, I know it was in Guyana, but I'm just not sure where Guyana is. Is it South America? Is it Africa?
Oh,
It's
right.
not Middle
No,
East.
no, it's
I
over in
know
our
that.
hemisphere. It's in South America.
It's South America then. Okay.
Yeah, it's in
That's
the
why
South American hemisphere. It's in the
I
Western
always
hemisphere
thought
here.
so, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, and
So
that
if that
movie
shit
made an
happened, I don't
impact on
remember if
me
I actually
when that
heard it.
representative went down there and then got shot at the airport along with everybody else. They just
Oh
mowed him
yeah.
down. That woke
Yeah.
me up, man, to what really went on down there. Was that
That's some
made for
crazy
TV
shit.
movie?
Hmm.
I was really shocked
Yeah,
when
I
I
had
saw that
that
on
one actor
TV.
in it too. What's his name? With the big, broad, kind of square face. The
Yeah,
dude
I
who
got
played
that.
Jim Jones. I can't think of his name. He's a really good actor, though. I mean, like everything he's
We'll take
in
your word for
turns out to be pretty good. Whatever.
it. Really, that's all you got. It's like well, I just don't know. Marcus Killigrew says my brother thinks his mother-in-law will be picked up by us. Well, I'm sorry that families might be, can I say, torn apart? I mean, but if you're breaking the law, okay. I mean,
Uh, yeah,
I just,
half of half of my family, my cousins, my nieces, nephews, even my children
Um, I'm
have
pretty sure that's a joke.
Hispanic blood in
if,
them.
if you're
So
in this country illegally and you know you're breaking the laws
they
and
were
you
all here.
knowingly know, I've got very little sympathy for you. Sorry.
What
Well,
happened?
I don't care
well,
how long you've been here. If you've been here 50 years, that means 50 years you've been breaking the law. In my, are there some special cases? Hey, give them a hearing, whatever, before you deport them. About
the
circumstances.
what people are overlooking when they make that comment is that the federal government has a policy right now. You can self-deport. They'll give you money to go
Yeah,
back to where you're from.
$10,000, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you have the option to come back legally. See how that works?
What
What
or
could
is a
what
thousand? Maybe a thousand.
what could be fairer than that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Come back and do it legally. Mike Walters in the house. Here we go.
Hey guys,
Ah! What's up,
I'm
Mike?
not, I know I'm trying to back off a little bit, Doc. I know.
I didn't say anything.
I had a feeling you were about to tell me I was too close to the camera there, so it was back off.
Wait, I'm using my Professor X powers. Mike is going to talk about the mic stand, his show.
Actually, no, that was actually not something I was going to talk about right away.
Oh, okay. All right.
But since I am actually from Southern California, so I'm
Oh,
actually
yeah.
figured I'd come in and give my 2 cents. Now, granted, I'm lucky in that I'm not actually in the downtown LA area. My city technically is part of LA County, but where my city's at, kind of um, more on the border between LA and OC. I'm in the area what they sometimes call the gateway cities, which is kind of a set of cities that's kind of like right on the border between LA County and Orange County.
Yeah.
So I'm not too, but I'm at least happy that my city isn't being overrun by by the rioters.
Yeah. I mean, hasn't the president made a little caveat there and said we're going after the really bad offenders first?
Yeah, but as Doc pointed out too, a lot of these liberals don't really. A lot of these, well, okay, not even liberal. Let's put a more accurate term: progressives, the quote unquote progressives.
Yeah.
They don't really care about that. You know, um, the thing is, what you have to remember too is that for the progressives, it's pretty the reason that the reason we're even in this situation, right, is that the progressives want free votes, and the Rhino Republicans want free labor.
Well, they want to stay in power and have one party system. That's their ultimate goal.
Right.
And no, by whatever means, stuffing the
Well,
ballots.
basically, yeah. Just the idea is that the reason that the Democrats in particular don't want to crack down on illegals because it helps them out ultimately helps them out at the election box because, as you know, in many including our state, my state where I'm at,
Yeah.
and they keep saying no, they don't vote in. Everybody knows that's BS.
There are a lot, that vote, that actually wind up voting.
Yeah. So
In
in fact,
elections.
I think I did see something in the news the other day where I think it was Senator Hawley that just put up a bill to basically try to strike down the non-citizen voting in D.C. From congressional, but
Yeah, that
yeah.
bill actually passed. It's a law.
Yeah. So, anyways, and on a more happier note, of course, for you, Rex, I did like and share the stream. So,
Thank you.
Why in the world would you like the stream? I get like if you're supporting Rex, sharing it out. I'm just kidding, Rex. I'm sorry.
I just feel it's I like and but I just feel like that's part of the supporting process. Just like I like and share your streams when a lot of the time. So
I don't even do that though, Mike. I don't like and share my streams.
And he won't watch anything in reruns either.
No, I've never watched a replay of a live stream. Why
Only
would I do
live.
that? Why would I do that?
well, and I get your point there. I prefer to watch live streams. The only time I'll watch a rerun of a live stream is if there's something like quote unquote newsworthy. Because as you know, I'm more of a commentator. Like my stuff you could watch in reruns, but I prefer people watch live because with my stuff, I am actually I'm going over news articles and giving my commentary on them.
I
So
don't.
so in my case, watching my stuff in reruns, at least there's a purpose there because if you want the information, you want to catch.
I not only don't really see why anyone should watch my live stream in a rerun. I don't really know why they should watch it when it's live. Why in the hell would anybody tune into my channel?
Well, because maybe they just want to hang out with you. Maybe they think you're a cool guy and
Nobody thinks that, Mike. Nobody thinks that. Let's get real. Let's get real here.
Yeah, I don't think that at all. But thank you for your service anyway.
Something tells me you guys are just joshing me here because I mean,
No, I absolutely listen. Listen to me. Listen carefully. Do not tune in Wednesdays at 1 p.m. to Doc's Coffee Shop for meme review and some laughs. Don't do that.
Well, I don't think I do that one as much because that one you're doing as part of Madness, right?
No.
Oh, you
Incorrect.
don't. Okay, so that one I probably do. Well, what I do is I pop in, I like and share, and then because I usually am pretty busy,
See, Shadowhawk gets it. He says, I ask myself that very question every time I drop into the coffee shop. Why the hell am I here?
Again, maybe people just think you're cool. Maybe people think, maybe people just like what you have to say and want to engage with you.
No, I don't think anybody actually likes my show or hanging out. They're just bored and they're looking for a place to hang out in the chat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but
That's
obviously, well, Doc, something tells me that if you really didn't enjoy doing the streams, and
I hate streaming.
you didn't enjoy the camaraderie that comes with it, my guess is you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't be a streamer.
I want you, Mike. I want you to ask Christy from Flip City and Tanner Hurley. Ask both of them. Just say, "Does Doc enjoy streaming?" and see what they tell you.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then, Doc.
Mm-hmm,
because it doesn't sound like you're making much sense here with that, by the way.
mm-hmm,
But
Mhm.
if you dislike streaming so much,
mm-hmm.
then why do you stream?
Because you have to. If you are producing a product in this community, you got to have a presence online. Now, I don't mind jumping on a stream with someone like I'm doing right now, but
Woohoo!
I hate doing a show. I hate it. I hate it. Oh God, here comes Wednesday. I got to do that damn show. Just saying.
Well, and I guess I can kind of get your point there because promotion's a big part of a lot of things.
It's a huge part of it. If you don't promote, nobody knows who you are. But I suck at that too, Mike. I don't know if you've noticed.
Well,
suck at
I'm
promoting
not
myself.
much better because I can't get more than 2 or 3 people to show up for my shows, and at least with what I'm doing, I'm talking about like.
Well,
a lot
you're
of
yelling
people.
at us right now, Mike.
Oh,
That
sorry.
scares people.
Sorry. Yeah, and again, that's a thing I've always.
Welcome, Rick Piper.
Oh
Hey,
shit!
Rick.
It's Rick.
Yes, it is me. How are you guys?
Good, brother. Good.
What's going on with you, Rick?
Oh, not much. Starting to gear up for a campaign.
Yeah.
Canadian Shield 3.
All right. Well, I'm afraid to ask, Rick, but I will. Tell us about it. Who's doing the art? When's it coming?
Well, July 5th is the date that I'm starting the campaign. The art is by his name's Efren Crespo. He did the art for Canadian Shield 2.
Okay.
I'm doing the coloring. It's not smaller. I've reduced my size so I can put stuff beside me if I want. Carry. So yeah. So I'm doing the coloring. I think I wrote the script. It got written like almost 30 years ago. So I'm not sure whether it was me or Buddy. He was involved at the time. He's not now. So
There.
All right.
Now he's
Okay.
bigger than everybody.
So where are you going to launch this thing at, Rick?
Fund My Comic.
Okay, and you're going to do that over on your channel?
Yeah.
Well, be sure you send out a notice now, so we can be sure to get by there.
Yeah, of course. Well, I put it out almost every. Well,
I didn't know about it, Rick.
Well,
But then
here's
again,
how-
we
Well,
just
well,
established
I
we
did.
just established, Rick, that nobody really likes me. So that's why I don't know about it.
I did. Well, I have created a little bit of a trailer for it. At least letting people know.
Have you got it available where we can see it? Or are you going to wait to reveal that a little bit later? Hey,
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear that?
No, but we can see the graphics.
Okay. Here, let me. I think I have it. Come back here. Let's present
I'm glad that I'm not the only one that struggles with StreamYard
video file.
and other things. You got to be happier because Canadian Shield is getting a little eyes put on it, Rick, in the Buckler campaign, right? Because the Canadian Shield appears.
Be prepared for on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. He is coming to Fund My Comic.
I'm scared, Mommy. I'm scared.
So who is coming to Fund My Comics on July 5th, 2025? It's the one, the only, the courageous Canadian Shield landing on Fund My Comic on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. be there. Yeah!
You frightened me terribly.
No doubt. I think I peed my pants. I'll be right back.
Okay, a little TMI there, Rex.
Could little over the top, but other than that, it's wow.
Well,
I'm scared.
And I have another one that I'm working on.
Whew. Oh, a good
It's a
alternative.
little
here, man.
longer. It's not completely finished yet.
This
if you
trailer
wanna
will
pull
put
it
you
in.
in your
Don't
grave.
don't do it. Don't do it, Rick. One was enough.
Wants me to shit my pants now.
A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting in his life. Canadian shield saves him in the nick of time. Now he lets the man know reasons to live. With this the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. A villain appears and threatens many. Canadian shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian shield wins and many are saved. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need.
No, it's not. It wasn't on loop. It's just for the chorus. I put the same stuff.
Who was your animator for that? Look
I
good.
used AI animation. Vidu.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how do you do that? You put in some of your still artwork, and
Yeah,
and then
and
it just,
you know, tell it a little bit of what to do. You know, sometimes
that's
you know,
that's what I thought.
it's
Holy shit, that was the battle brick. Yeah, except he wasn't gold. That's what I was thinking. So you did that through AI. That's awesome, man.
yeah, like I'm using it to my advantage. I can't afford an animator.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
So I use the still artwork that I have.
hmm
And trust me, it's crazy hard sometimes getting what you want. Some of those images are
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
the song is from a completely different program. It's Suno AI, Suno.com. You can find that. And the other one is Vidu online. Although I did write the lyrics to the song.
That's cool. Yeah.
I just got it to put music to it.
And that will be launching when, Rick?
July 5th.
July 5th.
I believe that will be 3 weeks from this Saturday, I believe.
Yeah.
You frightened me terribly.
That's a Saturday. The next day I'll be on your show, I believe, Mike.
Doc, did you?
Would you like to tell them what we'll be doing on Sunday, July the 6th?
Well, before you do that, Doc, did you see that last
Yes.
animation? Okay.
Yes.
What'd you think
Yes, I
about
did.
that?
I mean, it's cool. I'm
Is
not
that
an
a
AI
good use
fan.
of AI, you think?
I'm not an AI fan, so I think
Yeah.
in principle I can't get behind it. Was it for what it is? Was it cool? Yes, it was cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not a big AI fan. You know, like I'd rather be able to afford to pay an animator to do it myself, but I
Mhm.
can't do that at this time. You know, because it's
Yeah, I get it. What I have just done in the past is I'll just do, a slideshow of the art and drop in some text, maybe a voiceover.
yeah,
But I don't begrudge you using it. I'm just saying that, like, from where I
yeah,
stand, I won't. I won't do it. I'm a musician, an artist, and a writer, and
yeah,
AI is trying to take over all of that. So I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to encourage it to come and take my lunch money.
yeah. Well,
I mean, is
I
that
think
really contributing though?
I think if somebody can actually afford it, I think more than often they would go with a real person than thing
Mhm.
because, like I said, the trouble that I've had trying to get it to do exactly what I want when I tell it exactly what I want. Like if you saw that video right there, I said rescue a cat in a tree, right? It gave me a
Yeah.
cat with two tails.
Now, can you go in there and take the second tail out if you don't want it?
No,
You
not
can't.
through that clip. You know, like I guess I could take it and put it into some program and erase it myself and do a
Yeah.
lot of rigmarole, but
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
could keep going until it gave me one where not a cat, but you use up the points that you purchase for the month, and it wasn't a big thing for me. Okay, let the cat have two tails. It's a mutant cat.
From Canada.
And yeah, in a lot of ways, like I said, I agree with Doc. Like, would I ever get one to do artwork for my comic book? I don't think so.
Yeah, but
I
I
want
think there's
AI to do things like cut my grass, wash the car, do the laundry, do the dishes, and let me make the art and the music. You know,
Yeah,
but no, we're out here cutting grass and working those manual labor jobs so we can afford to get the AI software to do the stuff we'd rather do.
yeah, and even even with the song, I was trying to get a good song. I ended up having to write the lyrics because I wasn't completely satisfied with what they gave me for lyrics. Because Canada's in it, they want to go with the weather and say north and all this stuff, stereotypical stuff for Canada.
What's up, Jay? Um, yes, they do have robo lawnmowers and robo vacuum cleaners. The problem is, I don't know about the robo mowers, but have you ever seen one of those little pissant robo vacuum cleaners? They can't even pick up a dandelion. I mean, they're useless.
Hmm. I think the problem though we run into, for the more practical stuff you're talking about with like the robo lawnmowers and all that, we'd have the whole Project Geek the Project Geek situation from Super Friends. You guys remember that? You remember that cartoon?
No,
That's a good.
Well, I remember the cartoon. I don't remember that episode.
So basically, there was this character named Professor Goodfellow who basically came up with this full-on macro computer that basically could do everything to where everybody could just sit at home and do nothing. You had like self-serving gas stations, self-serving, car, but then a mouse got into the computer and everything went haywire and the Super Friends had to save everybody. They had to go get Plastic Man to go in there and stretch in there and try to get the mouse out.
yay, Plastic Man.
They didn't send the Atom.
No, this is the 1973.
okay, so but
version.
wait, Mike. I get that you're a fountain of knowledge about this nostalgia stuff, and I admire that. What the hell's that got to do with reality?
Well, only the parallel what we were talking about with the whole robo. In other words, I was trying to put a little bit of a humorous spin on it by
With AI
showing
controlling everything.
Oh, you were going for humor. Ha!
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
the nostalgia aspect of it, of seeing, because
No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you, Mike. I get it, but no, who knows how far AI will go? I'll tell you this though. I have learned to recognize AI when I see it in animation or hear it in music, and even learning to see it in prose in writing. I can see it. It has it. I, I suppose we should say the AI has a certain way that it communicates, and humans just don't talk that way.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can pick up on it just like you could hear when it's AI music. You know, you can even see it in the writing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see it in some of these translation programs
Yeah,
too.
and there's something else I never use AI for myself, writing.
Well, I mean, does it have any use, Doc?
Yes,
Which-
cutting my grass.
Oh, God. Okay, that's no answer, but sure, we'll go with that. Doc doesn't feel like talking now. Go to the corner.
I'm actually talking to several people at once.
Multitasking like a woman. Got it.
Rex, do I need to book a flight? Is Doc gonna have to slap a hoe?
Well, now don't you think, Doc, that women multitask a little bit better than men?
Nobody multitasks better than I do.
Okay. Hubris.
And
Moving on.
I agree with Shadowhawk. It is a double-edged sword. You know, eventually you get the Matrix, right? With AI.
Or Skynet or something.
Yeah. Or Skynet Terminators.
What do you think, Mike? Does AI have any usage?
You know, as Doc pointed out, I'm a fountain of knowledge when it comes to nostalgia. I'm pretty much old school quite a bit. I mean, I've been watching I've been going online, watching some of the cartoons from back, like 30s and 40s. So I'm more or less old school. Like, would I actually notice it? Probably not. You know, I'm no artist by any means of the because like when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid in school, and I'd try to color, and then I would have trouble staying in the lines coloring.
Yeah.
I'd just get all flustered because I just couldn't do it, and so I never looked at myself as really being an artist, But I do appreciate certain forms of art, like comic books, like when we on Sunday nights, and Rick, being one of the guys who rotates as my co-host, can tell you, we talk about some very interesting comics from back in the day. You've even been on before, Rex. You've done some shows with me.
I have. Of course, I have.
Long ago, but heck, I'd even like to get Doc on there if I could ever get him to come on to, go over some of those.
I hate streaming, Mike. I'm not sure if you heard me the first time.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, you said you hate streaming. You said you don't mind getting on panels.
And Doc, you may have told me that before, but then when I came to visit you at your house, you said that and it stuck with me. Doc does not like to stream. He only does it out of necessity. He doesn't like to do it a lot at that.
Right.
And
the reason I don't mind coming on a panel is I can leave anytime I want and it doesn't stop the show.
Yeah.
So like if I have a sudden need to get up and go scratch my ass, I can just leave.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that as
well. I mean, the zoo keepers don't complain. I guess they do. Moving on.
Doc, have you?
Please do not feed the dog.
Have you watched one of my historical comic retrospective episodes?
I have seen your content, Mike. Yes.
Okay. So I would think with at least though, I mean, I can understand if you're not like into like the nightly newscast as much, that can sometimes get a little draining and all that. I can understand that. But I think you'd really enjoy, if you gave it a chance. I think one time here or there. Plus, going back to your point, how you said that you don't, even though you don't like to stream, you feel you have to help promote your stuff. Granted, I may not have a super big audience, but there are people who come on.
Mike, are you Are you trying to seduce me right now? What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on here?
Yeah.
The fuck
Yeah.
are we doing right now?
Exactly.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, she's trying to seduce you into coming on.
Get out of my panties!
He's
The fuck?
He's just soliciting you to stay up a little later because what Mike doesn't realize is it's past your bedtime when he does your when
Correct.
he does his show.
Correct.
He's
Well,
usually,
I-
Doc's
I-
usually
number
already
one-
in bed asleep.
Number one, I go to bed early
Thank you,
and
Eric.
and I get up early. Number two, I'm not an aficionado of comic book lore. I'm not.
Well, you don't have to be.
Well,
You just have to give your opinion on what you read.
I don't read. I don't read.
Okay, what do you read?
The only comic books I collect now are indie projects by my friends, and not even all of those because I can't afford all of them.
Yeah.
I've got a little stack, probably enough for one shoebox, not a long box, a shoebox of comics from the indies. I don't read DC, I don't read Marvel, I don't read Image, I don't read Valiant, I don't read any of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know which companies are still around anymore. And when people talk about it, I'm just not that interested. I am interested in what my friends are doing. I'm interested in Devil Flyer. I'm interested in the Buckler and the Shield and whatever else others are doing, but not in mainstream comics.
Yeah, I get that.
But the main point is, staying up late gives me acid reflux, and I don't like it.
All right. Well, I mean, you can't blame me for at least trying. I mean,
Now, how does that give you acid reflux?
That was a joke, Rex. It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Is-
Well, I mean, you
I
know,
mean-
usually.
People
I mean,
from
you-
California give me hay fever.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm joking.
No,
Yeah.
Doc didn't say comic sucks. He said DC and Marvel comics suck. Or mainstream comics suck.
Yeah. Well, right now we're working. I've basically been working my way through comics that went on sale in May of 1940. And we're just about done with that. I'll be starting on June of 1940 on June 29th here. So,
Starting in June. That's good.
For all that new content about comics, check out the Mike Stand, which is like
Yeah.
Now,
1940s.
There is, yes, and Mike does
Expiration
do
date
some
has expired.
interesting retrospectives on that stuff. If you're into that kind of stuff, absolutely tune in. I'll say this: someone just hit me up. Max DeVille hit me up. He's going to be doing kind of a Hollywood Squares type game show
Get out of here.
as a live stream, and he wants me to be one of the Hollywood Squares. So.
Yeah.
Doc,
Well,
you get around to other streams on panels.
Well, that reminds me. Tonight, I'm actually doing my game show. It'll be the 41st episode.
Well, it's not like I
Wow.
was in the middle of talking about something. You guys go right ahead.
I
No,
thought you were
I'm
done. Sorry, I just figured I'd segue into my
Yeah,
game
I
show.
thought you'd already finished. Sorry, Doc.
I apologize for breathing.
You're
As well, you
not,
should.
You're not forgiven.
No, it's I like his ideas. Interesting. He'll have the setup so he can have the 9 panels for streaming and have a center square. I think that will be a good time. But I just told him the same thing I just told Mike. You can't do this shit late at night, or I'm never going to be there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
my
I get
big
that.
ass goes to sleep early, Rick.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He ran me off, and I stayed till
Rex, it was
midnight.
3:00 in the morning.
Was it 3? Was it
Yes.
really?
Yes.
I forgot. Okay.
Yes.
actually, that does remind me of something that I think I did actually see you on a stream, in the time that you said that you're normally asleep. One
Yep.
time,
Yep.
a
It
while
happens.
back.
It happens
I
every
came
now
on.
and then.
For
Yeah.
Every now and then, I'll wake up from a deep sleep, and I make the mistake of coming back here to my studio, and
Mhm.
Anthony will be streaming, soliciting for a panelist to come on, and something goes wrong in my brain, and I go, okay, and I go, and then when I'm there for like 3 minutes, I'm like, why the hell did I come in here? What am I doing here? I have nothing to contribute to this conversation. I'm a nobody. I just want to go to bed.
Well, you're obviously a very humble man there, Doc. Which which of course would seem to be a
I frequently brag about my humility.
which would seem to be a dying trend in the time that we're in now.
But to play off of Doc bringing up a game show, I actually have a game show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, the Silhouette Game. It
Actually,
deals with recognizing.
Rick, can I interrupt you for just one moment, real quick?
Yeah.
Doc, let's just make sure here. Doc, are you finished with what you were wanting to say, or can we go ahead and move on?
Did you actually stop him from talking to ask me that question?
Well,
The fuck is wrong with you? Rick, I love your Silhouette game. I think it's rigged. I think you cheat. I think I've been right several times and you told me I was wrong, but okay.
Right.
No, it's a very cool little thing you do. I have tuned in many times and kept it playing while I was working.
Cool. Well, tonight we're doing indie comic characters.
Oh, I'm guaranteed to lose. I won't know shit. But look, I do like independent creators on their channels doing little games like that. I think that's fun. I think that's good stuff, Rick. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Mike, what you do with that nostalgia stuff, the historical look backs, I think that's awesome as well.
So, would you say then that, not to get my hopes up too much there, but considering, as you said, that when I'm broadcasting, that's a little late for you, anyways. Or am I one of the few people you would actually watch on a rerun?
No.
He doesn't do that. No.
I don't watch. The only things I will watch on a rerun is shit that wasn't live. Like I watch historical documentaries. I watch Drakenophel, the naval historian.
You actually have seen my show live then, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I've seen it live. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But there's something about, and chat, help me out here. Maybe I'm not putting my finger on this correctly. The appeal of a live stream is being there when it's live.
Right, and I agree with that.
Yeah, and that so you can interact with the people in the chat and with the host, hopefully.
Correct. So like when I'm doing my show, I enjoy very much interacting with my chat.
Mm-hmm.
I try to catch every comment they make and speak to them as if they're right there in the room. Because without them, what the hell's the point in doing a show?
Yeah, I agree.
That's something you and I agree on 100%. That in fact, I almost make it a point pretty much every time. I tell people all the time, anything catches your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability.
Sometimes I might ignore the chat when I get talking. If I have a guest on and we're talking about the comic and get too much into what they're doing. But I always look at the chat and see what they're talking about and see whether it has to pertain to what we're talking about on air.
Yeah, but see, Rick, I don't usually have very good content on my show, so what the chat's talking about is always more interesting than what I'm talking about.
Well, that's probably true for me. 90%. Unless I have somebody to talk to in the chat, I'm drawing or coloring, and I'm quiet.
When Gable Pennyshot shows up to heckle me on my show, I'm just thankful somebody's there paying attention. I'm like, you noticed me. Thank you so much for noticing me.
Yeah.
You may not love me.
I like having, the chat there to interact with. It ends up creating more content. Sometimes the chat is talking amongst itself, and, I read it, but it's not worth reading it live so everybody can hear.
And Rick can testify to this fact. I'm always checking the chat too, looking to see if I can respond to things too. The whole point of why I call my show the Mic Stand is because I want to encourage more interaction. I want people.
And because your name's Mike, don't even try that bullshit.
Well, huh?
And because your name.
What was that, Doc?
I said, and because your name's Mike, don't even try that bullshit. That's why you call it a mic stand.
Well, that's why I stylized it with my name as opposed to MIC.
Yes.
Yeah, you need
time
to
step
up
a little bit of
to the mic stand.
No, I get it.
Sterilized.
I get the joke. I get it. Got him. So yeah, that I hope that answered the question. It's not that I got it. Here's an even better way of saying my feelings about streaming. All right. When I was all of my working life, I've worked for me, other than when I was in the Navy. I have hated going to work every day of my life. But once I'm there, I'm fine with it. You get that? It's the
Yeah.
going to work that I hate.
It's the having to get up and go there.
Right. So when I
It's
have
the
to
damn alarm
go,
clock.
when I have to go stream, I hate that shit. But once the stream's going, I'm enjoying it and I'm having a good time when I'm there. But as soon as it's over, I'm not going, boy, I can't wait to do that again. No, I'm going, oh, thank God that's over.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I've had that several times.
Well,
I mean, it's the same for work. You know, I love my job as a counselor, right?
mhm.
But at the end of the day, when I clock out and I sit in my car, the first thing I would do is lean back, light a cigarette, and go, oh my God, I'm glad that day's over.
Well, for me, some days it's like that. A lot of days it's I'm here. It's getting money in my pocket, so I don't mind what I'm doing for work right now.
I didn't mind what I was doing either. I loved it, but I hated going to it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can be doing something you like more, and nothing having to deal with other people's problems, right?
Yeah.
Quite literally for you.
Yeah. I mean, counseling is not what people think it is. Uh, as typified by this, your patient that you're seeing has watched entirely too much TV when they come into your office, and there's a sofa in my office, but it's for when I have a group of people that I'm working with. This guy comes in and laid down on the damn thing like I was going to do some Freudian psychoanalytics and shit. I'm like, dude, man, that's not what we do here.
Yeah.
Counselors do need counseling, right?
Everybody could probably benefit from counseling at some
Good,
point.
Well, right, exactly. People need to decompress, right? Especially when your day is filled with listening to other people's problems all day long. Hey, Peter.
Yeah, the model of counseling that I practice simply as its primary tenet says this, and I'm going to pick on Mike. Can I pick on you, Mike?
As long as it's not nasty or mean.
Of course, I'm not nasty or mean. Let's say Mike's my client and Mike comes in to talk about his issue. My job is not to help to give Mike the solution or tell him what's going on and what's wrong. My job is to, through the process of counseling, help him understand what his problem is and help him find his solution to the problem.
Yeah, through
So
the
that
process of
in
elimination, right?
In my case, that's
No,
the whole thing. Anytime
no,
I've been in
no.
counseling,
No, not through process of elimination, just through the process. It's called the Kharkov model. And through that model, you help a person begin to hear themselves
Right.
more accurately. What are they saying about themselves, the situation they're dealing with? How do they feel about it? What's really driving it? And then you help them hear their own words of what can they do about it. Because if I tell Mike how to fix his problem and it works, great. The counselor fixed it. If I tell him how to fix his problem and it doesn't work, the counselor's an idiot. But if I
Right.
get Mike to figure out how to fix it himself, then he
And
gets
it
all.
doesn't work. He's the idiot.
well,
Yeah, there's that too.
Doc, I don't know if you remember this or not, because I might have mentioned this to you before, but I'm on the spectrum, right?
Okay.
So basically, anytime I have been in counseling, that's been the whole point of the counseling is to help me process through whatever I'm dealing with. So
Sure. And that's all real counseling is. If you go to a counselor and you're there for one session and they diagnose you with something, run to the door and don't go back.
Well, I've
that's
been long diagnosed with. I mean, I've been long diagnosed. I've basically been diagnosed with some form of autism basically since I was born.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if they try to diagnose you with bipolar or depression or PTSD after talking to you for less than an hour, because that's how long a session is, get the fuck out. You're in the wrong place.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had because of my situation and stuff like that. I was being evaluated a couple years ago, for my records, right? my counselor at the time had gone with me to see a psychiatrist for evaluation purposes. So the psychiatrist, of course, was trying to put me back on
Medicine.
meds again.
Because
Like
that's what a
meds,
psychiatrist
the type
does.
of meds I haven't been on since I was a kid, behavioral meds.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Because
on Haldol as a kid.
Because that's what they do. They're psychiatrists. They're not there to do therapy. They just write prescriptions. That's all they do.
Well, here's the thing about here's my tale why I will not go back on any kind of behavioral meds. Okay. When I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, and they had me on Haldol, okay, control my hyperactivity, as it were. Okay. I was back east visiting my grandmother for over the summer. Okay. And, I was having trouble sleeping. I was having insomnia. My grandmother took me to the doctor, right? And through a combined kind of, little counseling session there with the doctor, with a pediatrician, my grandma, we talked about the idea of me learning how to control my own behaviors without the use of medications. And they put it on me. And I eventually did learn. I mean, yes, I had quite some adventures growing up because of just how I was. My personality mixed in with my situation.
Yeah, well, that's something everybody needs to learn, how to control their own behavior. That's the problem. Too many people don't learn that nowadays.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and a lot of as Doc even pointed out there, a lot of what the psychiatrists will do, they'll just try to push pills down your throat to quote unquote normalize you.
Rick, don't mess with my I don't know what I was going to say. Lost it.
Don't mess with your what?
My self-evaluation.
I wasn't messing with anything.
But basically, I
wasn't messing with anything.
Overall,
That's a nice self-portrait, Rex.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Nailed it.
But I took great pride in the fact that I did learn how to basically control my own behaviors. And I know how to reason my way through any issues I have. So I mean, you guys probably noticed this just from talking to me. I'm very formal in my approach.
Later, Eric.
Well, at least I'm glad I did get a chance to talk to you, Doc, because I did want to ask you and Rex, because I'm having a little bit of an issue right now because one of the guys is in my rotation. He got busy, and another one here I had to kind of I do have an open date on the 29th. I was hoping to see if either you guys might have been interested in doing it. I've already talked to a couple other people, but I already know your answer, Doc. And Rex, I was thinking of asking, but I'm not sure if you're still doing your summer job thing.
I am. Yeah. This is my 13th season. We're getting ready to take off every night.
Yeah. So I was hoping to see if I can get one of you guys possibly to come in for the 29th. I'm still trying to wait on
Mosquito Night. What day does that fall on? Do you know?
Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
It's basically I actually, and that you guys might not have known this. Well, Doc, if you've been paying attention to my show, you probably did. I switched the historical comic retrospect from Fridays to Sundays a few months back. Sunday nights now. So figuring I could possibly try to get more people to come on at that time, come watch. So and again, well, I mean, I know you guys know the show. We go through, read comics, comment on them. It's like basically, as I have always described, one part comic book review, one part dramatic reading. So,
well, it's up to you, Mike. But maybe this might be a time to try Fitzchoso.
Yeah, well, I may have, because I know the concern there is that his equipment's not always the best.
Reliable.
And also, I don't know if I have a. Well, actually, he did recently get onto my Discord, so I could maybe contact him to that. But
yeah,
that's a possibility too.
Well, when you do your show, he's usually in the chat, so you could probably ask him that way. initially. If you want to,
Yeah,
it's
but-
up to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I could give it a try if push comes to shove.
Yeah, you just say, "Well, give it a try one time," and you gotta let them know. We gotta stick to the, the comic. Let's not get too off track, and let's, I'm having a break for a second, then you can get off track on whatever. Once we come back to the comic, we gotta stick to the comic, and then he can read it if he wants to or whatever. He doesn't have to.
Well,
Because
you know,
that's
I'm
just
always
what I'm not
good.
sure whether he would be able, how much he'd be able to stay on track.
Well, yeah, and there's also one of the other things that was brought to my attention too. Sometimes his equipment isn't always up to date. There's
well,
when he does come on, sometimes there are issues with his equipment going out on him. So
yeah,
but-
well, that can happen to anybody. Maybe it happens to him a bit more often.
yeah,
You
so
just deal with it the best you can, right?
yeah,
Better having him for a little bit than nobody at all, right?
right. And I've had shows like that too, where guys have had to go out.
Well, now my question is, why is it better to have someone than no one at all? I mean, if you're streaming, then you can stream by yourself, right?
Yeah,
And I have,
it's
but
nice to have somebody to play off of, for lack of a better way of saying
No,
it.
I get that it's nice to. I'm saying it's not necessary. It's just
Oh
nice.
yeah, it's not necessary. That's why I said it's better. I never said it was necessary. I do it all the time.
Yeah, you're
myself.
right, Doc. I could do it. I could do it on my own, but I think, as Rick pointed out, and as I've pointed out before, having that other person there, having that co-host to kind of play off of, like, especially with what we've been doing, like the last couple of months, where I've been emphasizing kind of the book review aspect a bit more too. Like after each story we read, I'll sit there and I'll ask for their overall perspectives. And Rick and I and most of my co-hosts, we've had some pretty good discussions on some of the things. And then after we've read all the stories that we're reading, I'll ask, okay, which of the stories did you like the most? Which did you like the least? And give you reasons why. It's like I said, one part book review, one part dramatic reading. I think overall the whole experience is fun for everybody.
Did anybody watch the new Dune remake movies? Are they any good?
No, I haven't.
I don't really
even
watch
seen the
anything.
original.
Like, I don't really watch anything newer.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff. In fact,
I
speaking
saw
of older stuff, I'm going to turn off my camera for a moment because I'm going to get up here and not do what I've done before.
I just recently saw the live action Lilo and Stitch and Karate Kid Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Actually,
would think.
speaking of watching stuff and watching old stuff in particular, that's usually what I'm doing at this time, but wanted to come on and hang out with you guys for a bit. So I did like and share the stream earlier. So actually, I am going to bid you all adieu. Go watch some of my cartoons here, and also just kind of get set for my own show. So if you'll allow me, Rex, a moment to just do some last minute promoting, I'll be on tonight, of course, at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, if you guys want to check that out. I'll actually be going over an article on Bounding into Comics, about an interview that Donnie Cates recently did about, I guess, some criticisms he's had with Marvel recently. So I'll be reading through that and giving some commentary on that if you guys want to come check that out. Tonight at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. So with that, thank you for having me, Rex. Thank you guys for the conversation. And I shall bid you all adieu.
Good to see you, Mike.
See you,
Take
Mike.
care.
See you guys later.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been wondering about the new Dune, movies that they came out.
Can't help
Are they
you with it.
any-
I don't
Yeah.
like doing it. I don't like Dune in the first place. So
Yeah, I never
never-
got into it myself either.
I never watched the other 20 live action efforts they've made. So I didn't
Oh,
watch this
come
one either.
on. Come on. They haven't made that many.
How many have they made, Rex?
Okay, well, they did I mean, if you're talking about the first adaptation was David Lynch, right? His movie in the early '80s that had Sting in it. And I like that one. That was the first introduction to Dune, anything. And then I guess they've had these 2 remake movies. And I think there was one in between, which wasn't too bad.
Didn't
I
they
don't
try to
think.
do a TV series out of it
Yes, they did.
recently?
Okay, the TV series I did watch, and that's a little bit much, probably.
So
the
so
two
there's been-
movies recently go together. So that's what's that? 3 or 4?
so it's basically it's pretty. It's either 4 or 5, depending on how you look at it. 5 times they've tried to launch this turd,
Yeah.
and I'm just not a Dune fan.
Yeah.
Now, Omerglitch says, Rex, the new Dune is visually stunning. It's good,
Mm.
Rex. The second Dune Part 2 is a little woke, but it's still good.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
A
When
little
it-
woke.
When they
That's
were
like
doing some
that's like
reviews.
getting a little cow shit in your soup.
I think right now at Walmart you can get both for like $20, so that's not within out of my range. Hey, Elsie.
What's up, Elsie?
Hey, Rex. Hey, Doc.
Howdy, howdy,
Rick.
howdy.
Hadn't met your brother, but howdy. How's it been going, Doc?
Rick from Cross Comics.
Oh, okay.
Good to meet you,
and
sir.
Good to meet you.
Rick's gonna be launching a new Canadian Shield issue number
3,
3. When?
July 5th.
Wow.
July
Canadian
5th.
Shield,
Okay,
huh?
the day after July 4th.
Yeah,
I think
the
is
day
smart.
after your Independence Day.
Yeah, because a lot of people are going to be. Well, that's right. I forget you're in Canada, so yeah.
Rick, we
I
don't
think
we don't call it our Independence Day, sir. We call it Independence Day.
the day
Independence
America
Day.
saved the world.
The day that America
Oh.
told the king to pick one and suck it because we're out.
Yeah.
You ain't taking no more of our money.
Now that's it. Peace out, baby.
You can take this job and shove it.
There you go. You're not doing a good one. They weren't doing a good job, so we had to fire them.
Now Gable brings up a good
You're
point there, Rick.
Fired. Pardon?
It says Rick should launch Canadian Shield on Canada Day, July the
Yeah.
1st.
Yeah, that is a thought. I didn't do it that yet. I probably will do it eventually. The only reason I didn't this year, I wanted to launch it on my grandmother's birthday, if she was alive. My mom's mom. Her birthday was July 5th. So I've
Yeah, but
usually chosen
Yeah, but it's
somebody's birthday.
Canada Day. I get that it's, having a loved one's birthday. Yeah, that's awesome for you. But for your audience, and you
Well,
basically
yeah.
got a hero that's running around wearing the Canadian flag.
Hey, Rick, what you
It's
want
kind of a
to do
no-brainer.
is take the
Yeah.
book and make it in honor of her or in memory of her.
Oh.
Dedicate the book to her and then release.
Hey,
it
I'm
on
sorry. I
Canada Day.
gotta run, guys. I got a thunderstorm
don't
rolling
rush
in.
too hard there,
Later,
Doc.
Doc.
I got a thunderstorm
Slow
rolling
down,
in. I
buddy.
gotta go put my mower away, roll up the windows, all that good stuff. Later, everybody.
Take care. Take care.
Take care. That's the excuse he uses all the time, folks.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
Right.
definitely get where you guys are coming from. And
Well, you
Hopefully
do
for
what
next
you
time.
want, Rick. It's
Yeah.
your book, right?
yeah,
That's good.
I'm just. I guess it's. I stuck.
Try to tell Rex when he's going to do what he's going to do. No, it don't work like that. It's his book, and that's your book.
Yeah, it's a pattern that I've had at the moment. I guess it's Canada's birthday, but my first book I launched on my mom's birthday. Which
Kind of
was
a
July
tradition.
10th, January 10th. I've launched it on my own birthday. I'm not sure whether I've launched on somebody else's birthday or not.
It's a
but
tradition.
yeah, launching it on somebody's birthday, anyways.
well, I think it's not very smart to launch it on a day when people might be out with the family, because that first day really counts. And I
Yeah.
think if you're a big creator like Ethan, he could probably do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
People that are going to back him are probably going to be there, and if they don't, they're going to back him in subsequent days afterwards. If you're, and not just him, but Billy Tucci and some others, you know, the larger creators that generally do big bucks. Now, you know, for us smaller independent creators, the same formula doesn't work. We probably couldn't launch on 4th of July and do any good because people are out and about with their families and doing other activities, and that makes
Well,
sense.
that's the thing is, I might even be, I don't know whether at this point I'm going to be out and about anywhere. You know, July 1st, which is Canada Day, is a Tuesday. You know, I have my live stream that day, which I'll probably be coloring up the Canadian Shield.
Yeah.
And live on thing. You know, like, except for my one program of my silhouette game on Thursdays, all the shows I do right now are coloring up the Canadian Shield. You know, to have it ready.
Might as well be productive while you're doing it.
Yeah. You know, to have it ready for when, you know, deliver, you know, like the end of the campaign. There's going to be a draw-in tier, you know, for $100. I'm not sure whether Fun My Comic is doing it in Canadian or American dollars for me, but you know, so for $100, I'm not sure whether that's Canadian or American. You can get drawn into the book on there's like three different panels of this church that Canadian Shield is in. So, you know, you can be part of the congregation. Get drawn in, part of the congregation.
Well, you might, you know, see Crooked Painter. He's been drawn into like 16 different books. He's going to be in my book. So he's a big person that likes to be drawn in. So that's the crowd you definitely want to catch, you know.
Yeah, I figured it's something, you know, I should you know.
Wearing a great shirt, by the way.
Thank you. And like with my last one, you know, I was named the firefighter because firefighters have the names of their jacket, on their jacket, and I had a couple firefighters from behind, so it's like, okay, for you know, $5 extra, you can get your name on the jacket.
I left something in the freezer. Just a moment.
Rick, did you ever like Captain Canuck?
Yeah, I've actually met the creator of Captain Canuck.
Really?
I actually took a 10-week course that he was the teacher of.
Seriously, man, I've got a signed figure of Captain Canuck, and I've got the first 20 issues signed by him.
Ah, cool.
It's really
now, is
cool.
that the original series or the new series?
The original.
Yeah.
They go back, way back. That figure, I've never seen anything like it, man.
Well, the figure, I think, would have to be newer, wouldn't it?
No, brother, it's an old one. Let me see, it's right up here.
Okay, because I never even knew he had an action figure.
I didn't either. That's why I got it. I got it. Let's see. What year would you think that it would come out in if it was a newer series?
70s, maybe 80s, because I think Captain Canuck came out in the 70s.
This is 2014.
Yeah, then that's probably newer, definitely.
Richard Cumley.
Yeah. That's the original Captain Canuck. And that's more dull. Yeah. No, it's not bad. $30 was that?
Yeah, that's a great deal.
That
with him
looks like one of
signing.
the old
He
Star
signed
Trek
it.
dolls. Oh,
Yeah, but he signed that bad boy.
oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
So,
I was thinking it was coming out in the 70s, but
so,
they more reproduced in more modern day.
so anyway, I guess I should probably make my announcement. Been on here for over 2 hours and haven't made the announcement that's up in the title, which, right now we've got like 4 people watching. I don't know. Our crowd went down all of a sudden, but you can't go by that. Anyway, for you 4 people that are out there and the people on panel, the announcement is for the next stretch goal, which is the next one coming up, which is the 6 a.m. bog sticker. And I will show that. Just let me give me a second and I'll bring it up. Let's see. I want to go here.
Oh, I thought you were going to eventually bring it up. Levitate it.
Yeah, well, Professor X powers don't work that way, Rick. Only in Canada. And I've
Well, I thought
only
you were going to
looked.
fake it somehow.
That's actually
make
on
it-
my bucket. That's actually on my bucket list. Is to see Canada. Now I've looked over Flint, Michigan, over the lakes and seen part of Canada, but that's it. When I was a kid. But I've
Yeah.
never actually been in Canada. So one of these days, pow, right in the kisser, I'm gonna fulfill that and nick that off my bucket list. Maybe when I'm going to Alaska, which is also on my bucket list. So the next stretch goal was this 6 a.m. bog sticker for everybody. And we're only $431 away from that, which is, doable. And I think we will get there before the campaign ends. But, if we get that $431 before the campaign ends, then you'll get not only this bog sticker by 6 a.m., but
And when does the campaign end?
well, I can't give you an exact date on that, but we're looking for fulfillment at the end of next month. I mean, we'll see. That's not when I'm going to end the campaign, but we will have a closing at some point. Maybe a
Yeah.
couple months after fulfillment. I don't know. We'll see.
Depends on how well your sales are doing.
I may just leave it in open, storefront mode on Fund My Comic while I launch my next project, which will be with Elsie and Glenn Fleming. But now what I've added to the next stretch goal is 4 more pages. I've talked about it, adding 4 more pages to the book. So if I reach the stretch goal, I'll be adding 4 more pages, and it won't be 48 pages that everybody will be getting. It'll be 52 pages. So I'm excited about that. And I
Cool.
already have an idea about that. Justin Belmont in the house. He's getting ready to fulfill Pencils Down. You can still get Pencils Down on Fund My Comic that I know of. And I don't know about it over on Indiegogo. I haven't checked that one in a while. I thought announcement was going to be about fulfillment. Well, I mean,
it ended up being a little bit in there. But
if we're talking fulfillment at this point, Carrie, I mean, I'm going to try, but it's, that's what I'm hoping to do. Then I'll be at the 1.5 year mark, but it might take a little bit longer. I mean, the way things are playing out, it's just, I've got a lot to produce on this campaign. And that's not just, a book, but we may do fulfillment in stages, for some people, but I don't see how you can do that, because if, well, why are these other people getting their book and I'm not getting my stuff? Well, your order was more involved, so it's better to have everything produced, which is, the book, the art book, the sticker book. I'm getting ready to put the sticker book together and get it printed up, and that'll probably be printed the first thing as far as books are concerned for the campaign. I've got a standee to do. Got to talk to Dark Gift about here pretty soon about ordering a certain amount of the tapestries. So we'll just have to see, how the
I'm
finances
looking
come
at
rolling in.
your thing right now, and on the Dillard's cover it says prequel. So is that different than the other books there, or it's a cover B? Are they all like the same book with the?
They're all the
cover?
same book. Yeah, it's all the
Okay.
prequel. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Dillard's just the main book, and that's what I wanted on there.
Yeah, that's no problem. I just I didn't see his got prequel on it, the other one's don't. It's like, okay.
I'm trying to do some things kind of different, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Apex Comics, Brent's always like, well, it needs to be a number one. Why? Why can't we do a prequel? Why can't we do a 0 issue and then a 1?
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
do what, I mean, basically I did it this way to get the elephant out of the room, which was the original Devil Flyer story, which was 29 pages, and it was killing, and it was kind of like developmental thing. I don't want to call it an afterthought, to make it an anthology where you have other backup stories in there with some other characters. And in fact, Bog was the last big main character, unless you count Bystander, to be added to the book. And
Yeah.
yet his story, illustrated by Doc Blaylock, was one of the first ones turned in, if not the first one turned in.
Yeah. I was just, like with the two different. I get multiple covers, but with one saying prequel and the other one's not saying prequel. I just wasn't sure, so I because.
Well, I mean,
I just want to make sure I'm getting, I guess, the first book you're putting out, for lack of a better way to say.
Well, it's like Rick. You don't want to have like different titles for a prequel. Now, if there's a bunch of titles down there, that'd be different. But if it's like a virgin cover,
the Jimmy Reyes is a virgin cover, so there won't be anything on there except for what you see. The Golden Age may have a 10-cent mark on it, like the old Golden Age, so we may put prequel on that. I've not really thought about it. I didn't think it was necessary.
But he's not going to put something else.
I don't care. I don't care whether that it says prequel or not prequel. I was just making sure, no matter which quote unquote cover I got, it was the same book.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same book, and I have added a 60-page art. Sort of, there's a Devil Flyer art book that's been added, a sticker book that's been added that has a special 6 a.m. sticker in there, and some of the, I have some examples on there.
And, another dumb question. Do you know offhand how much your shipping is to Canada?
Last time I shipped anything to Canada, it was like $28. It's probably going to be, no, offhand, I can't tell you. In the $30 range, probably. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah,
but it'll be the cheapest that I can send it, and that's been about, approaching a year and a half ago. So, postage might have even went up since then. But I will say this: the digital tier for $15 will have additional material on it. That's a good thing about. And actually, it was Dillard, our good friend Dillard, that suggested that digital tier could, have additional stuff in there when he was talking about the Canadian tussle. And I thought, yeah, that's brilliant. You can add
you
all
actually
kinds
have
of
a digital version?
I do, yeah. So
let's see. It says on here 18 for shipping. to the U.S., so that's not too bad.
Well, now 18. I really.
Yeah.
I mean, on the ash can maybe.
No, that's
That-
what Dillard's. I've got Dillard. I chose Dillard's cover, and
And it's saying $18. I'm gonna eat some. I'm gonna eat it like last time if that's what it says.
well, you can go. Well,
Because there's no way
Yeah.
you can send. Last time I sent to Canada, which I think was to you, or maybe it was somebody else. I think it might have been Hal Deer.
what
I'm
I,
not
what,
sure, but I know when I sent yours before the ash can, it was like $24. The last time
Yeah.
I sent something to
Yeah,
Canada,
I'm not sure.
it went up by $4, and we've had an increase here in the States just on stamps. Stamps cost you
Yeah,
like 77 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
stamps.
what I would suggest, I forget how you mailed that the last time. I'm not sure whether you know who Grok Comics is.
Yeah, I
they
know
use-
Grot. Yeah.
When he sent me comics before, he's just put it in a rigid mailer.
Yeah.
And
The way
he
I
only,
did it was
and
the
he
way-
only ends up paying like less than $5, but that was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago that I got something.
well, I think
Not no
Justin
more,
Belmont
Rick. Not
has
no
a good
more.
good take on it. You can go through pirate ship, or like, and of course I sit down with
Yeah.
Critical Blast before we finalized the campaign a year ago, about a year and a half ago now. And we, he quoted me the cheapest rates is, which would cover us, and like with the artist edition, the hardback of Devil Flyer, we allowed, enough. I said, well, how much can, when we were thinking page count wise, how many pages could we make it? And that's going to be 60 pages, whereas
Yeah.
the regular comics going to be 48. Now, if we hit the stretch goal, it's going to be 52, which
Yeah.
is going to,
Well-
you're going to have to find a printer that'll be able
What
to
you-
do a stapled stitch book that's pretty substantial in size.
Try and mix them. They're pretty good online. Mix them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be considering all options,
They're the ones who I got the original Canadian Shield printed through the first issue, and they were good. They're good price too.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, I
But what I
definitely
was
don't want to
gonna-
go with a slick stock. I want a matte stock,
yeah. Well, they have matte. You can choose that. You have all your options on mixing that you can choose from.
Yeah. I've
Um,
heard Mixum's good with that, bad with their stickers.
Yeah, I don't know about their stickers, but
Mhm.
what I was gonna suggest for the tier, if you want to change it, go see whether you can change the shipping to Canada. I'm not sure whether anybody else from Canada has tried to get it yet, so maybe you can change that in that tier. Either that, or you could possibly hide that tier, duplicate it, and change the shipping for Canada for that.
Yeah, I don't know why it would be showing $18 for Canada, because I'll be eating some money on that. But I ate money last time on the ash can with you and Katie and the UK, and on Jonas in Sweden,
Wow.
big time. I actually paid you to take my book, but that's good. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that for everybody though.
Yeah.
I'm just glad
Yeah.
you got my book and enjoyed it, the ash can. And the
Yeah.
way I sent it last time was cardboard, sandwiched between cardboard and a boarding bag with in a manila envelope.
Yeah.
And
I
it
forgot.
was
It's
double
that-
bagged in case it got wet, because it
Yeah.
was like in a golden age bag, that was turned upside down so it
Yeah,
couldn't see
I
through
like
even
it.
if-
It was so long ago for me, I couldn't remember. I just
Yeah.
remember Grok Comics that way. I'm not sure
Well,
why
I
I
fulfilled-
remember how he
I
did it.
fulfilled that one, so it's hard for me to forget. That's how I send out
Yeah.
everything
guess I-
except for the double
okay.
bagging.
I guess I remember because of Grok, because so many do charge that lot, and and so many people do have to pay an extraordinary amount. Yet he's got it and sent it for like less than $5. So, like,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
need to it. The
I
only thing I've
haven't.
seen different is, the rigid mailer.
Yeah,
I,
and it needs to be waterproofed in case they deliver it in the rain.
But Rick, with a rigid mailer, it ain't gonna be nowhere near $5. It'll still be upwards 18.
it was.
$20.
I saw the price on.
Yeah, back then, brother, back then. But
Yeah.
maybe if you're mailing it to me, it might. But if I'm mailing it to you, it don't matter if it's in an envelope or a freaking, comic mailer. It's gonna cost.
Even a letter is going to be costly. Just
Yeah.
a letter.
Well, a letter would
Anymore.
just be a stamp to Canada, so it might be a little bit more, like
Not for
$1.50
us.
for a stamp. A letter to the States for me, a regular letter only costs less than
Yeah,
$2
for you.
for a stamp.
Yeah, for you, Rick. That's what we're saying. For you, it's probably right, But for us, it's done tripled or more.
Wow. Yeah, well, it's gotten expensive here too for shipping. I'm not sure how much the tariffs are gonna. No, I think they didn't do the tariffs, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think we know exactly what the fallout of the tariffs are going to be yet. I mean,
Yeah.
I know they're still negotiating with China
Yeah,
and other,
yeah, but I just want these tariff things between Canada and the States.
your
That was going on
volume
there.
keeps dropping lower or higher. It's doing this
Oh,
for some
Okay,
reason.
I'm not sure.
Like it's a loose connection or something.
I had my mic not right in front of me. That's probably why. But no, I was more talking about the tariffs between Canada and the States. That
Right.
little war that was going on. Shall we
Yeah.
call it?
Well, I think all the tariffs are going to affect everything,
But
whether it's just with Canada or, China.
But I was thinking, if you can't change it, and I do get it for the quote unquote 18, if it ends up being more, let me know and I'll shoot you the money.
Okay. So did you just back Devil Fly?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. Well, now I can go in there and check that and see, about changing it. I don't want to charge you higher, but I mean, that's just
I don't want
necessary
you
because
losing money. I get it. Like I know about the, all about the shipping and all that,
yeah. I'm not even sure the way it's changed. Like I say, when I mailed you the ash can, it was $24 and I'd only charge you 18 on that.
Yeah.
But in fact, you were the least, in the UK, it was more like 28 and that was to the UK. And then it was like 32 to send to Sweden.
Ouch.
So I lost, big time on U3. It was like $83 to mail 3 little ash cans out to the 3 international. But now the last time I sent to Canada, it was $28. That was a $4 increase, and I don't know what it is now. To tell you the truth, I just had to take something that's going to be about a pound or less, or a couple pounds at the very most, and see.
Yeah, maybe you can take something in and say, if I'm shipping to this address, how much, or Canada, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
To them down. They should be able to tell you.
I thought you had already backed the book, Rick.
No, I don't think I have, because
Okay.
I haven't had the money.
Okay.
Before.
Yeah, I know you were going through some stuff and moving and.
Yeah, like I've been to the West Coast and back in the last year now.
Yeah.
Of Canada.
I hope to pick up, quite a few. Send out an update here pretty soon and to everybody, and then, send out subsequent updates till we do start fulfillment, and then, pretty soon I'll be getting some printed stuff in hand. So, and I know with the ash can, once I was able to show the magnets and the trading cards and the bookmarks that people were going to get with their order, then I picked up almost as much as we did the whole year,
Yeah.
So, hopefully we'll get a bump at the end when we do a closeout, and we may not totally close it out, but that'll be the official closeout. I don't think a closeout has to be that you actually take the book down, but I mean, maybe.
I was
Yeah.
worrying, Rick. You said you was out to the West Coast. I said, what are you going out there for? I was like, man, oh, you meant Canada.
Yeah,
So I
yeah. Well,
understand-
our
I
West Coast is
understand.
almost as bad as yours. BC is fairly liberal, but
Carrie said, I received a comic that had shipping cost of $21 and I paid $25, I think, for shipping with Devil Flyer book. Seems to me it's the crowdfunding website used that causes variation of mailing costs. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it is
Okay.
because
I
I
know
mean,
when I was setting up mine, starting to set up my tiers, rewards, whatever you want to call them, I was able to choose each. I chose Canada, how much I wanted for that.
was
I
that
chose,
on Fund My Comic?
yeah. I
Yeah. Well,
chose the states, how much I chose
you
the
said
states,
it.
how much.
You said it, but I didn't think I had it set at 25 or 18 actually for international bidders because I guarantee you I will.
Maybe did you might have just done 18 for all. Maybe sometime I'm not sure. Do you know how
That's
to,
what I did. I kind of just said, okay, 18 for international. And I thought that would cover everything. It didn't cover you, which was the least
yeah.
amount for the ash. I'm talking about the ash can now.
Yeah,
you know,
but I mean this time
a couple
did
years
you
ago.
do you know whether you said it or not? Do you know
Yeah,
how to set it on Fund My
I
Comic?
set you set the shipping. You enter in the shipping. So you
Yeah.
set the shipping on the different
Yeah,
rewards
but
of the different tiers.
yeah, but do you know how to get it for different countries and all that, and not just one for all?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we just went one for all for,
Yeah, that's maybe why it's 18.
because I got with RJ over it before we launched, to set
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Well, maybe
in
sometime
the
off air I can show you on mine, since I
Yeah.
haven't got anybody's stuff, to see whether
Mhm.
you can get it.
I know you can do
Uh,
specific countries, and set
Yeah,
up
yeah, that's
as many
what
as
I
you.
mean. Like I did Canada a specific amount, and then I did the states a specific amount, and then I said worldwide it's this. Beyond the Canada and states, I'll eat a couple bucks here or there.
Yeah.
I'm going with what it was last time. Hopefully, I'm not eating too much myself. But,
Yeah, I don't mind, because I don't think most of it, besides the digital tier, and that's the good thing about having a digital tier. Yeah, I want people to get it physically. I think it's going to be a book worth having in the
Yeah.
future. And I mean, if for nothing else, I mean, I've said with all my books, and that includes the ash can, I think the value in comic books is, of course, the enjoyability of it and the readability of it, but I mean also the first appearances of characters, places, and things. And I promise with all of Momentum books, no matter what I put out, there's going to be something new in there, a first appearance of something. And in this new book, I can't even tell you how many characters, and it may only be a cameo shot, but they'll be in the book. And with the ash
Yeah.
can, I think I counted like 16 or 17 characters that made their first appearance in that book.
Wow.
So that to me adds value. Plus, it was limited to only 100 made.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty rare book.
Yeah,
You
for
working
sure.
tonight, Rex?
No, I don't work tonight. I'm doing a marathon stream, so I'll be on for a while.
Yeah.
You will?
Well,
what time you gonna start the marathon? Now?
It's already started, I
hours
think.
ago. 2.5 hours
Oh,
ago.
okay. Well, I'm gonna have to come back. 'Cause
Yeah, if I'm still going on, absolutely. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
same link.
Well,
I was gonna ask if you wanted maybe later do something. I didn't know.
I'm drawing right now. I've already done 2 sketch cards and I'm
Well, I've
working on
been
a third.
painting all day. I just
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I
Kinda
can
tired
always
of
do
all of it?
something. No, I just was
Well-
going to ask if you're going to stream later tonight, like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Well, I'm streaming now, so yeah, I don't know,
Well, I
how
know
long it's
that,
going to go.
but sometimes
How long can I sit here?
Well,
Who
I've got to
knows?
take off, Rex. I got my show in like 4 minutes, so
Okay. I thought
We'll
it's good
catch
to
you
see you,
later.
Rick. Take
good
care,
to see
bro.
you. Good meeting you,
Take
Elias.
care, Rick.
LZ.
Like a
LZ.
Elias.
Okay, later, guys. God bless.
Take care.
All right. Everybody's going to abandon me. I can see that right now.
No. Well, I thought your show was going to end at 6.